Hi, my name is Kerry. In April 2014 I entered this cake into Cake International, and I was asked by lots of people how I created the textured effects on the bottom tier of my cake. So today I'm going to make a short video tutorial to show you how to do this. Here I have a dummy cake that's already been covered in the sugar paste fondant. This is ready for us to apply the ruffles once we've made them. The equipment you need to create your ruffles is a non-stick board, a foam pad, which we're going to use for drying our blossoms on. You could use a piece of sponge. This is a cell pad, which has got the coating on one side and the other side is for balling your blossom flowers. A non-stick rolling pin, a small pot of water, a paintbrush to apply the water, ball tool, which has got a large ball on one end for balling your blossoms. This is a small stylus tool. You can use the end of a paintbrush. We'll be using this to apply pressure to place the blossoms onto your cake. And this is a 5-petal blossom cutter. You can use a cutter of your choice, and the size is entirely up to you, but I wouldn't go for a too small a ruffle because you don't get the very nice open effect, and if they're too large then they tend to fall onto each other. We also have a piece of flour paste or gum paste, and approximately a third of the size in sugar paste. Knead together your flour paste or gum paste and your sugar paste, or fondant if that's what you call it. So knead it together well. You may want to put a bit of the dust or sugar icing on your board to stop the paste from sticking, and then start to roll it out. You want to roll this out nice and thin because we want the petals to be able to stand up. So when you think you've rolled it thin enough, then roll it out again. Once you've rolled it out nice and thin, then turn your paste over. So you'll be working with the smooth side of your paste. Take your 5-petal blossom cutter and press your flowers out. I always move mine around the board to make sure I get a nice clean edge. Smooth it over with the back of your fingers and pop it through. Place the blossom onto your cell pad, but turn it over first. We want to ball the back of the flower. Take the large end of your ball tool and place it on the edge of your petal, half on and half on the foam pad. And what this will do is create a very fine edge to the edge of your blossom. You'll notice that the petals start to turn up towards you. If you apply too much pressure, then you'll tear each petal. And if you don't apply enough pressure, then your petal won't move at all. Here I've got 5 blossoms that I cut out earlier. They've already been balled and I've left them drying on my foam pad. They need to dry out quite a bit, because if they don't, then they're too floppy and they fold onto themselves, and you end up with more of a clam effect rather than a petal that will sit up nicely. When I did my Cake for Cake International, I was cutting out about 30 flowers at a time, balling them, leaving them on the side and then cutting out the next 30 to make sure it was ready. But this also can be dependent on weather, humidity and so on. We want to take your blossom that has started to dry out a little, and the first thing we want to do is fold it in half. And you just hold it lightly at the bottom with your thumb and finger. Then what we do is we turn it again. And what you have is a spray of petals. This is the shape that your flower needs to be for when we apply it to your cake. If your blossom is too wet, when you try to fold it in half, it will all fall onto itself. There'll be no structure to your ruffle and it won't look very nice. We're now going to fix your blossom ruffles to the cake. So you're using a small amount of water, not too much, otherwise you'll dissolve your flowers. I just wet an area of my cake. Then we place the ruffle onto your cake and using a small tool, just apply some pressure to hold the ruffle in. And you just continue to add to the line. I normally fold these one at a time, but for the purpose of the tutorial, I've folded all 5 that I've cut out earlier. You apply them all the way around to the bottom and you allow these to dry off a little. Once they've dried off a little, they'll start to hold themselves. Otherwise, when we apply the second layer above, it will fall on top and you end up with a crushed effect and all the petals start to stand on top of each other, and that isn't what we want. What we want is our ruffle to be open to give this nice effect. If any of the petals have fallen, you can use your tool to move them, to hold them into position before applying the next one, and you can even do this as you continue around the cake. Thank you for watching our flower ruffle tutorial. We hope you've enjoyed it.